You're saying we're prioritising the rights of British people and not the rights of an asylum-claiming prime-age man who is gay. They would go back to Iran or Afghanistan.
We need to stand up for them. We need to stand up for them.
To British women.
Potential terrorist attack foiled by our security services. 4 men from Iran who turned up on a boat. Our priority.
This is exactly why so many people no longer trust the mainstream liberal establishment to keep them safe. Instead of focusing on protecting British people from real harm, they are more concerned with looking morally superior by constantly defending so-called oppressed groups. This exchange between Susanna Reid, Ed Balls, and Zia Yusuf shows it perfectly. And Zia Yusuf exposes their hypocrisy brilliantly. Let's watch.
Women. Because, you know, I was asked recently, I appreciate you didn't use this phrase, why would you send people back to, quote, woman-hating Afghanistan? Why are so many men from, quote, woman-hating Afghanistan being allowed to turn up on our beaches uninvited?
My question was about the women.
Well, our priority, and we make no apologies for this, is British people, British girls and British women.
Do you think
we need to stand up for them. We need to stand up for them.
To British women?
Well, again, the reason we are so focused on ensuring that this gets done is because the vast majority of the people illegally in this country from Afghanistan, I've seen these numbers, are men. In fact,
so are you only going to target the men and not target the women?
Well, deportation command would be foolish, Susanna, for deportation command to start when we've got probably north of 1 million illegal migrants in this country, at least, to start focusing on women and girls. The best estimates, but the total population of women and girls from Afghanistan in this country at sub 2,000. We're talking about 0.2% of the total population. We will start with the men. We will start with the fighting age men. They are the ones, by the way, who people watching this program are most worried about.
Maybe she should actually read about what happened to Emily Jones, a 7-year-old girl who was tragically killed by, yes, a female asylum seeker who entered the UK hidden in the back of a lorry. We'll come back to this case later, because it's truly disturbing. And to show just how badly ideology clouds their judgment, watch how Ed Balls argues with Zia Yusuf, presenting himself as the self-appointed protector of gay people, while completely dodging the real issues.
Allocated £2 billion to pay countries to take returns. You said, Nigel Farage said last week, that that would include countries like Afghanistan, Iran. You've said it wouldn't be women and children. If you are a gay man who's come to Britain to claim asylum from Iran or Afghanistan, you know, of fighting age, a gay man, would you return a gay man to Iran?
Our priority will be the British people. I want to keep saying that. I want to say.
So the answer is you would return a gay. Because in Iran, being gay means is not only illegal, but it is punishable. With flogging through to the death penalty. But you're saying you would return a gay man to Iran?
Why does it appear to be that we're OK with the vast majority of the people coming from Iran are fighting age men as well? In fact, some of them, very well-sourced stories suggest had a potential terrorist attack foiled by our security services. 4 men from Iran who turned up on a boat. Our priority, and Nigel's priority when he's Prime Minister, will be the British people.
I understand
we make
that, but
no
the nature of being in
that.
government is, because you referred to him as Prime Minister Nigel Farage, if you're in government, you have to be able to answer the difficult questions. That's what government ministers do. That's what you need to do as well. You would return a fighting-age gay man to Iran or Afghanistan. I think, you know, that is a perfectly legitimate thing to say, because you're saying we're prioritising the rights of British people and not the rights of an asylum-claiming prime-age man who is gay. They would go back to Iran or Afghanistan. I think the answer is the answer is yes.
Well, what I'm saying today is we make no apology for saying that this issue needs to be sorted out and we're going to prioritise British people.
But you would return gay men.
But let me also be clear about something. You're asking me about Afghanistan.
Well,
we came out and talked about Afghanistan, and the Home Secretary then came out the very next day and said they would consider doing a deal with Afghanistan. You look at Iraq.
Of course.
And by the way, Germany is already returning illegal migrants to Afghanistan, albeit via Qatar as an intermediary. And this Labour government has done a return agreement with Iraq. And I would put it to you, Ed, that gay people don't have a particularly nice time in Iraq either. Look, the world is unfortunately, as Nigel has already said, he cannot be held, if the British people see fit to vote him in as Prime Minister, he cannot be held accountable for the actions of every despotic regime. We will, of course, not deliberately send anyone back to get tortured or harmed in any way. But we make no apologies. We have north of 1 million people in this country illegally. That number is growing. The pace of people arriving is accelerating. We cannot afford it. It's totally unfair on the...
Someone really needs to show Ed Balls a map, Because if we're expected to believe that a gay man fleeing Iran would travel through multiple safe countries, reach France, which is already a safe country, and then have to enter the UK illegally, that just doesn't add up. If someone is genuinely seeking refuge, why refuse to use legal and safe routes? And why should Britain be responsible for taking people from France who entered through illegal routes simply because they claim to belong to an oppressed group? This should be simple. The British public does not want anyone to be tortured or mistreated. What people do want is fairness, that those seeking refuge follow our laws and apply properly. And let's be honest, we're not naive. We know many people exploit the system and abuse the compassion of liberal figures like Ed Balls and Susanna Reid. This story proves it, and it's deeply disturbing. You need to hear it. A 7-year-old girl was killed by a woman who entered the UK illegally in the back of a lorry in 2014. Years later, she randomly attacked the child in Bolton. The girl was simply riding past on an e-scooter when she was slashed for no reason at all. It gets worse. This woman admitted twice to doctors that she had lied on her asylum application. Despite this, she was granted asylum, not deported, and remained in the country until this innocent child lost her life. And yet liberals respond with emotional deflections like, "So do you want to deport women?" Their compassion only ever goes so far, because they're blinded by ideology. Blinded by identity politics. Everything is reduced to oppressors versus the oppressed. That's why, as a Black man, I reject identity politics. I reject the fake compassion of the left that says belonging to a minority automatically earns special treatment. Because we all know this. If the victim had been a Black or Asian girl and the attacker a white man or woman, this would have dominated headlines. Everyone, from the Prime Minister to social media, would be talking about it. But because it doesn't fit the narrative, it's ignored. Worse than ignored, we're told that enforcing laws, fairness, and public safety is somehow inhumane or evil. This is why they're losing the moral high ground. They want to appear moral, not actually be moral. They're more interested in feeling virtuous than in following evidence, fairness, and justice.